Hello everyone, Niev here, and we are doing our Sagittarius study. All right, awesome. So, yeah, and I have my book here with my decorated page on Sagittarius, and of course the Starcodes, Astro Oracle book, and the Parker's Astrology, which is the main two books I've kind of been using throughout this little study. But yeah, all right, so I'm actually quite excited about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is probably one of my favorite signs. I really like the fire signs. Yeah, and Sagittarius is pretty big in my chart, so that'll be fun. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put on screen the decorations that I was doing on in my book, and as you watch me decorate my page and write in all the information, I'm going to talk about Sagittarius. All right, so when I think of Sagittarius, adventure is what immediately comes to mind. Sagittarians are known for their optimism, their zest for life, and kind of always looking forward to the next challenge. Sagittarians are known for their good sense of humor and their enthusiasm, which are largely good traits, of course, but can come off as unserious or foolhardy, and maybe overly risky sometimes. They're able to adapt and assimilate quickly, but they hate being bogged down in the details. Yeah, if there's too many details on something, they can kind of lose their interest and get sort of bored with that. They want the gist of it, the main info, and then to move on. Too many details or getting too nitty gritty can quickly become boring to Sagittarians. So, despite appearing to be unserious, Sagittarians can be quite philosophical and able to see the big picture in most situations. And Sagittarians also, I really see a lot of connection between Sagittarius and Aquarius, personally. I don't know if there's any actual, connection, but I really, when I think of Sagittarians and I think of Aquarians, there's something that sort of connects there for me. I see a lot of Sagittarians being very similar in a lot of different ways to Aquarians. Of course, there are big differences. I think, if we're talking just stereotypically, which is a lot of this is stereotypical sort of information here, but the stereotypical Aquarian can be very weird, or very almost like an alien from another another planet or something, and whereas Sagittarians are more silly, I guess. That's not quite the right words, but that's kind of my mind. They are very similar in my mind, but there are some big differences. So the key words for Sagittarius are adventurous, optimistic, jovial, freedom-loving, good-humored, honest, straightforward, intellectual, philosophical, toxically positive. We're getting into some of the negative sort of sides of the sign. Careless, irresponsible, superficial, tactless, restless, and explorative. So yeah, that's kind of the keywords that I think are pretty good for Sagittarius there. Now, with my chart, I have 3 Sagittarius placements. So my placements are Mars, Uranus, and Neptune. And I'll briefly go back to my away from the decorations, just to show. I pulled out the Mars, Uranus, and Neptune cards from the Starcodes Astro Oracle. So Mars is motion, Uranus is change, Neptune vision. Those were the keywords that were chosen here for these planets here. Of course, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, but these are the planets that I have Sagittarius in my chart. So I have a Sagittarius stellium, and a stellium is when you have one sign in 3 or more planets. So I have a Scorpio stellium and I have a Sagittarius stellium. So there we go. And I may not have had that definition exactly right. I think it also encompasses other parts of the of your chart, but in my but you know, there are 3 planets in my chart that are in Sagittarius. So the Mars and Neptune are in the 6th house in my chart, and this is Placidus, my chart in Placidus, and we have sustainability being the keyword here for the Starcodes, and and I have Uranus in my 5th house, so passion is the keyword for this. All right, I'll go back to the decorations here. Mars is where our energy is, our energy levels are. So this is certainly an exciting and lively placement. Sagittarius thrives here, and Mars in Sagittarius tend to be energetic and adventure seeking, but they are a higher risk of being restless and prone to risk taking. 6th house Mars, oddly enough, is likely to suffer from skin issues. And that's pretty funny because I actually have psoriasis and I've dealt with that skin issue since I was a teenager, and it really sucks. But it was a funny little tidbit to add in here. The Parker's Astrology does list health things, and the 6th house itself also has to do with health, so that's probably why it's being mentioned a lot here. But yeah, so a 6th house Mars is more prone to skin issues according to Parker's Astrology, so that's interesting. 6th house Mars in Sagittarius are more likely to be physically active. They're more likely to enjoy exercise and sports, and I would say that that's accurate for me. I do actually really enjoy physical activity. I enjoy sports and things like that. So Uranus is about changes. The planet Uranus, and in the 5th house we're seeing creativity. So this placement doesn't just, you know, a 5th house Uranus does not just march to the beat of their own drum. They're kind of creating a whole new song. And I would say that's pretty accurate for me there. Neptune is the spiritual center and the psyche, and a 6th house Neptune Sagittarius do things for the bigger karmic reasons. They are definitely big picture people there. All right, so the main associations of Sagittarius: it's a fire sign, of course. It's mutable, yin versus yang, and it is ruled by Jupiter. All right, so we will go back to we're going to go back to my desk here and go over the tarot cards. Okay, so here is the finished page. I went with like a pizza washi tape just because I thought it was fun, and I was kind of going for a orange and sort of tealy blue kind of color pattern here, and also a little bit of brown because the stickers themselves for Sagittarius were brown, and I thought that was pretty fitting too. So it's kind of an orange, brown, and teal, and I had to do the pizza washi because it was just fun. Oh, I also have like bicycle washi in here. Can't tell, see if you can tell there, but yeah, it's got like bicycle washi on both sides here. Pretty cool. Yeah, so fun little page, and here's the constellation right there. All right. So before I grab the tarot cards, I just wanted to go through the book real quick, the Sagittarius page in Parker's Astrology, and see the big image that they have for it. The art in this is pretty cool. It's a really fun coffee table book. It's quite large. Yeah, so Sagittarius, and I'm not going to really repeat a lot of the information I said, but this is the cool image that they have for Sagittarius, which I think is really neat. Yeah, I feel personally very connected to Sagittarius, probably because it's got, because I have a Sag stellium. So I feel, I see myself a lot in different Sagittarius elements here. And I happen to just really enjoy the other fire signs as well. I tend to be really good friends with Leos, and my husband's an Aries, and Sagittarius is prominent in my chart. So I don't know. It's something about fire signs that I really feel connected to. So, I mean, they've got a lot of information here. The body area: hips, thighs, liver, pituitary gland, sciatic nerve. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, and I love the little information here. I don't think I really went through this with the previous signs, but, this book does list correspondences to the different signs. So in flowers, pink flowers and carnations, dandelions, crocus, and thistles. Oh, that's cool. I love thistles. Trees are oak, birch, mulberry, ash, chestnut, and lime. Very interesting. We have animals here: deer, as well as horses and hunted animals such as foxes and rabbits are associated with Sagittarius. Sagittarians are often out and about, so pets that need companionship should be avoided. That's funny. An aquarium of fish is an excellent notion, or even a turtle if you have a pond. A self-sufficient cat would be a good pet for a Sagittarian. Yeah, so just interesting little connections here. Gemstones, turquoise is said to ease viral infections and reduce excess acidity in the body. Interesting. Zycron is a mineral. I don't know. I'm just like looking over it a little bit. Foodstuffs here. Root vegetables such as potatoes, carrots, and radishes. Interesting. So fruits like pears, apples, oranges, and strawberries. Whole grain muesli is excellent. Olives and figs. Alcohol is best avoided or consumed sparingly. Haha. All right. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. And I did also go through the houses section in this, and I have the bookmark in there. So like the 5th and 6th house are where I have Sagittarius. That's, of course, using Placidus. And there we go. So that's Parker's Astrology. And there was, of course, some great information in here on Sagittarius. Let's see, Sagittarius. Here we go. Their keyword here is expand. And is that what's on here? Yes, expand. Yeah, and that makes sense. Sagittarians are expansive. They are expanding out. So always looking for the next challenge. So it's connected to the thighs and muscles that propel our movement. Jupiter ruled Sagittarians symbol is a centaur. And like that half human, half horse creature, Sagittarius points to the human need to travel, roam free, and connect to the natural world. And I love that. And that's one of the many things that I really love about Sagittarius. All right, so that'll bring me to talk about the tarot. So the deck that I chose to represent Sagittarius, I'm just going to pull this out here right now. Actually, there we go. We're going to put it that way so that we can see all the my chart placements and Sagittarius right there. All right. So the deck that I chose, I actually went with the Tarot of the Great Outdoors, and I think this is a perfect fit for Sagittarius. This is the bag that I made for it. I went for a like camping sort of vibe with this, a Mother Nature adventure type with patches all over, and then like natural things like the butterflies and flowers and things like that. And I really love this bag that I made for this deck, and that is of course the Tarot for the Great Outdoors. And I think this is quintessentially Sagittarius. I think this is great for Sagittarius. So this deck, and I will pull out some of the cards for it here. So we've got the 8, 9, and 10 of sticks or wands for that are the associated with the decans. I'm going to put this on top of there. 8, 9, and 10 of sticks. And we also have Temperance, which is right here. Now, I pulled out 2 cards for the court cards, and I will explain that in a moment. We have the King of Sticks, and we have the Knight of Sticks. So this deck, by the way, is not a deck that I use a lot. So I love the concept of this deck, and it is very beautiful, and there's a lot about this deck I really, really love. I love the whole concept of it, and I love the art. I love tons of features about this deck. But I have what I think is the older version that has the really terrible, terrible cardstock. And so because of that, I hardly ever use this deck because I really hate the cardstock. It's just super, super thin. These cards are like paper, like thin paper. And so I don't love the cardstock on this, and because of that, I don't often use this deck. But I'm pretty sure I have been told that there is a newer version of this that has much better cardstock. So I still have the old version, so that's why I don't use this deck a lot. But I do love the concept of this deck. So the reason I chose two court cards. Do I want to talk about the court card first? Or, you know what? I'll get to the court card. Let's talk about Temperance first. This seems like it might be an odd choice for Sagittarius. And yes, the associations of tarot cards to the zodiac are kind of, they're kind of shoehorned. They weren't, the tarot wasn't naturally associated with the Western ideas of the astrological signs, etc. So this is something that was put together later on, well after tarot was around for a long time. So, you know, some of the associations with the different tarot cards are very much just, they feel shoved in those spots. So I get it, and we are trying to force some of these connections. But I read something when I was trying to research why Temperance is associated with Sagittarius. I did read something that sort of made sense to me. The confusing part is that Temperance, someone had a thread that I was reading somewhere, on some website. Someone was wondering why Temperance was associated with Sagittarius, because to them, Temperance is all about tempering and making things even and balanced. And so they thought it maybe was more associated with Libra. Of course, Libra is associated with justice, which makes a lot more sense. And I get that take, but I think what we're missing here with Temperance is it's not so much about balancing as it is blending, and like alchemy is the big thing with Temperance. And I want to see what the book says about this imagery here for Temperance, so let me open this up real quick. So we got the little white book here, Temperance. Down here, the keywords are stability, flexibility. That's a big one for Sagittarius, I think. Agility and agility of mind and body. And I think those, especially flexibility and the agility of mind and body, are very Sagittarius. Stability is, there is a stability with Sagittarians, but it's more that if that's the goal, they can achieve that, but then they want to move on to the next goal. You know what I mean? What it says here for Temperance. Tempering is a strengthening process used in metalwork. Metal is heated to a high temperature and then allowed to cool. It involves the dual powers of hot and cold to improve the metal. And that is some great information there. So it's also a term used in cooking when mixing hot and cold liquids to bring them to the same temperature. The meaning to look for here is balance. Zion National Park, which I have been there. I've been to Zion National Park. When I was a kid, we did a lot of road trips to national parks. So I've actually been to a lot of national parks. So Zion National Park is home to a uniquely beautiful yet intimidating. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses. So yet intimidating ridgeline trail called Angel's Landing. The Methodist minister who named the summit deemed it so precipitous that only angels could land there. Today, portions of the trail are fortified with a steel chain handrail, and the hike has become one of the most popular attractions in the park. I'm sure I've probably hiked on it a little bit. Even with the handrail, however, Angel's Landing requires 100% of your attention. So are you considering an ambitious goal? Ambition is a good one for Sagittarius as well. Remember that maintaining physical and mental balance is of the utmost importance when attempting difficult endeavors. Take your training seriously so you can be flexible and ready to act as you embark on new paths. And, I think that is great when it comes to Sagittarius. So I think temperance makes sense for Sagittarius. It seems like maybe it doesn't, because Sagittarius is so kind of fast-paced, kind of high energy, and temperance is a lot of, tempering and almost like slowing down, which seems counterintuitive to Sagittarius. But it actually makes a lot of sense with when we look at the alchemy aspects of temperance. Sagittarius makes a lot of sense. All right, so the 8, 9, and 10 of sticks. So 8 of sticks, 8 of wands. The cards are moving around. Slipping, moving around. All right, so the 8 of wands, that's that fast energy. That's it's interesting they have a beaver here, which is interesting for the 8 of wands. Yeah, because beavers I would associate more with, say, the 8 of Pentacles. So I wonder what it's. I'm not going to read the whole thing like I did before. Actually, they have it. They have only small sections for the pips, so maybe I will read the whole thing. So 8 of Sticks. Beavers are widely known as some of the busiest workers in the animal world. Beaver dams or lodges and marvels are marvels of engineering, complex structures of leaves, twigs, sticks, mud, and rocks. With a hidden underwater entrance. These warm, watertight homes keep beaver families safe year-round. Be like a beaver. Use your mental and physical skills to work creatively and efficiently, and enjoy the work while you're doing it. Interesting. I don't know that I would have put the beaver on the 8 of Sticks. I would have put it on the 8 of Stones, I think, is the Pentacles in this deck. So I probably would have put that there. but if I'm just thinking about the RWS meaning of the 8 of Wands, that fast-moving energy, fast-moving new information, or new idea, like kind of a new idea. It's more, because it's the Wands, it's more of a doing suit rather than a thinking suit, like the swords. So like it's new stuff. It's new stuff coming in and quickly. It's a fast moving card. And in that sense, I think it makes sense. So the 9 of Sticks, the 9 of Wands, I sort of think of that as sort of the wounded warrior, it's a perseverance sort of card. It's getting up and trying again, planting new plants. After plants have died, we are planting new plants and moving forward. And and that makes sense, a lot of sense for Sagittarius. It is that moving forward energy, moving forward, like not getting drudged up or stuck in the past, stuck in difficult times, just assessing what is going on, rising up and persevering. And and I think that's a good one for that. So the 10 of Sticks, this is interesting imagery. This is the interesting thing about this deck, is they have interesting takes on the cards. Like the imagery is not what I would initially think of when I think of, say, the 10 of Sticks, because this to me, like, so the original imagery of the 10 of Wands has the person carrying a large bundle of sticks that are wands, and there's 10 of them, of course. So it's heavy, it's burdensome, but there is a level of pushing through the pain, pushing through these difficult times, and also taking on a lot, because it can represent burdens. I don't really have a negative take on the 10 of Wands, because I mean, it depends on the other cards that are around it in the reading and the context of the reading. But I kind of often see it as something you're choosing to do. You're choosing to take on this load. Now, this interpretation here, the image here, I feel like it's represented by a sort of community effort to take everything, to bring this together, like as a community, versus an individual. individual. I'm not sure what their take is on the 10 of sticks here. So, so gathering with loved ones around a fire pit is one of the great pleasures in life. Whether you're making music, telling spooky stories, solving the problems of the world, or just talking and laughing, nothing brings people together like a campfire. So it's almost like the campfire is what's being the bird, like being the what was the word I was looking for? Like, it's responsible for the source of community, if that makes sense. It's responsible for bringing everyone together. So that's an interesting take. When you're making music, telling spooky stories, solving the problems of the world, or just talking and laughing, nothing brings people together like a campfire. A good fire shared with others can be a source of new ideas and creativity that will inspire you long after the flames are out. So I don't know that this deck does a really good job with understanding tarot. Let's see, J.Q. Gordon is the writer of this. So interesting. Like, I don't know what their knowledge history is of tarot, but because this is just, it's not how I would read the 10 of Wands or the 10 of Sticks, but it's fine. Yeah, but, you know, the 10 of Wands makes a lot of sense for Sagittarius. So, the court cards. So, if we're going by what I've kind of been using for, like, the past several of the signs, several of the studies, I've kind of been using this graphic infographic from Labyrinthos, where it's connecting the different tarot suits or tarot court cards with the zodiac signs. And their thing has the King of Wands representing Sagittarius. And that's because basically all of the mutable signs are connected to the kings. And I think the cardinals are the queens, fixed are the knights, I think, and mutable are the kings. It's interesting because I would connect the Knight of Wands with Sagittarius, and I would connect the King of Wands with Aries. If I'm just going by the vibe of, the representation of these cards, the Knight of Wands feels very much more Sagittarius to me, and the King of Wands feels very much like an Aries, or or a Leo. I guess I could put it an either or. I think so there's a bias here. I use the King of Wands to represent my husband, who's an Aries. So I think that's where my bias is coming in. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to me to think of Sagittarius as not the king, as not the Knight of Wands, because especially since it's represented by the centaur, horses, and mounted creatures are often associated with Sagittarius, that I feel like the Knight makes a lot of sense. And plus that Knight has that go forward energy with all that momentum and stuff, which, there's, because I think that the Knight of Wands is associated with Leo in that chart. So it's an interesting, thought sort of experiment, and, connecting. There is no hard and fast rule on which court card represents which sign. This is just systems that people are coming up with on their own that make sense to them. So associating the mutable signs with the kings is what Labyrinthos did, I believe. And I can see the king connected to Sagittarius. They are more big picture type people. So, and maybe we're seeing that sort of element here with that certain maturity with the King of Sticks here. So we could see that there. But I do feel like that Knight energy is, I don't know. For me, the Knight makes more sense but in the system that I'd been kind of using, it was the king. So there we go. All right. So I think that was everything. So, all right, I'm going to move these out of the way, and there we go. All right, so that was my Sagittarius study. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.